Everyone, I'll call tonight's special regular meeting of council to order. Recommendation that the agenda for the special regular council meeting of December 13th, 2021 be adopted with the addition of item 4C, report from the corporate administrator regarding the Friendship House letter of support regarding a transportation service. Moved by Councillor Cunningham, second by Councillor Adey. All's in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. First up, we have a report from our Chief Financial Officer regarding the October 2021 financial variance report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Operating revenues and expenses continue to perform as expected compared to budget. Airport ferry revenue continues to be the low performer given the COVID pandemic impacts on commercial air flights to the airport. The utilities budgets are projected to be in a deficit by the end of the year for the same reasons as presented in the September 2021 report. Capital projects will be finalizing, with those that are incomplete rolling into 2022. Costs continue to come in for all projects. This concludes my report.
Thanks. Any comments? Okay, moving on to 3B, report from the Chief Financial Officer regarding the 2022 financial plan, capital works, purchases, and special projects. Any further things to add? Okay, so recommendation that council approve by resolution the 2022 financial plan, capital works, purchases, and special projects as recommended at the Committee of the Whole meeting of December 13th, 2021. Moved by Councillor Cunningham, seconded by Councillor Randhawa. Comments? Councillor Cunningham?
I'd just like to make one comment. I'd like to thank the staff that came today, and as well as the staff that prepared this report. It was quite in depth, and I think they should be recognized for what they've accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Morrow.
Ditto. I would also add, I think there's a lot of good reasons for us to support staff's recommendation on this capital budget. First of which, they make it easy when you can hold the line on taxes. So barring any unforeseen issues in the new year, I think we're on pace to at least be able to hold the line, I'm hoping. More importantly, though, I think that this capital budget really is an investment into our city's future that is consistent with our kind of stated strategic plan. Whether it's CN building revitalization, Ken Fisco warehouse parking, new RCMP detachment, finishing off the dam, recreation improvements, all those types of things that are over and above our regular operational requirements. But then there's lots of investments too in things that are, either cost or energy or environmentally friendly investments. So new boiler and HVAC system, new pump truck for the fire hall to keep everyone safe, new plow, quite timely today, commercial garbage truck and landfill dozer. I mean, the list goes on. So I appreciate how thorough you guys were in preparation of this budget, and there's plenty of reasons for me to support the recommendation as it's written.
Councillor Adey, then Councillor Randhawa.
Yeah, I'm also happy to support the package as it stands. I'm very impressed with the degree to which you've taken into account the need to develop strategic plans moving forward in various areas. As my colleagues will know, I'm a big fan of the parks and open space concept, in the sense that it will help us make sure we've got equity between neighborhoods in terms of quality of life types of issues. But I'm also equally excited by initiatives like the active transportation strategy, which I know there's been some community advocacy for something of that kind for some time. And I'm glad to see it take that step forward. Excited about the wetland treatment system and that concept that we might be able to find a much more economic way to do that work, a more environmentally friendly way to do that work. So I'm happy with the balance between strategic planning, information gathering, and specific initiatives that will help us not only in terms of the basic infrastructure and the work that we do, but also in terms of quality of life and environmental impact. So I'm very supportive.
Councillor Randhawa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, my colleagues already said most, so great job. And I like to see the Abortson and money spending there. So everything our council make a list, so mostly our staff cover that. So thanks once again for the great job.
And I'll add something to that. Just to talk about the paving part of it. It's another year that we get to put another $1 million into this, and and it's just keeps adding to our, we'll get ahead a little bit. I mean, it's never enough, but, in previous years when it was only $400,000, it didn't really get you anywhere. And now that we've been able to put $1 million into it for a couple of years, and now we're going to do it again, it's only going to start making our roads that much better. And maybe in the future we can even go higher than that. And thanks staff for a great job and kind of holding the line. And let's hope that the rest of our budget works that way also.
Councillor Cunningham.
I'd just like to add that I like the format today. I don't know how many people actually took the time, because it was during working hours, to look at it, but actually having the staff here to answer any questions in that got a lot of the possibly residents' questions out in the open. And if any residents do have any questions about it, they can phone and one of the councillors and ask the questions. I think we're all more than happy to answer it, because we're all happy with what we've got in front of us right now and that. And it was very well explained. I think it was well done. It's just, each department got to say what they wanted to and what we need. And it's not very often we have the expertise of our staff in a meeting to explain different things, especially in front of council or as a forum in front of the residents.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you very much to the staff. Great job. All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. Next, we have a report from our corporate administrator regarding the Friendship House letter of support regarding a transportation service. Do you want to comment?
I don't have too much more to comment other than an application was received from the Friendship House for request for council to support a transportation service bus that would run twice weekly from Prince Rupert to Terrace. The grant is a NDIT multi-year funding of $200,000. Currently, there is a shuttle bus each week that takes people from Prince Rupert to Terrace for work, for medical appointments, and to connect to other transit along Highway 16 and for educational opportunities as well. The grant deadline for this application is December 23rd.
Thank you. The recommendation that council approve by resolution a letter of support for the Friendship House as requested. Moved by Councillor Cunningham, second by Councillor Morrow. Discussion. Councillor Morrow, then Councillor Rinhawa.
I think this is obviously an incredibly easy letter of support for us to endorse. I just want to commend the Friendship House for being willing to take on this service again. And I would just add, it's very rare do we get such a thorough letter of request for support. So I want to commend them for doing that, providing all of this additional context for consideration. Normally it's a 1 or 2 sentence email with a 1 or 2 day turnaround. So I want to commend them for that.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I would like to support this letter because since Greyhound close shut off and Via Rail runs only once a week, so not much people can go without vehicle, especially this kind of weather. So we need that support, like not 2 days but whole week actually, if that's possible. But I like to support this one, because our community do need this service to keep on going.
Councillor Cunningham.
Well, we all know where I stand with medical appointments and Terrace and that, and this is just another great access to get to those appointments. The Northern Health Bus, BC Travel Services and things like that all don't provide enough service, and this twice a day definitely steps in and fills the void. So with the way the highway is and that, and lack of transportation for some people to make medical appointments and that, I think this is definitely a great service, and I appreciate the Friendship House stepping up and doing it as well. I totally support it.
Any other comments, Bud?
I won't repeat what others have said, although I agree with what's been said. I will say that having enjoyed the drive from Terrace or to Terrace and back on Friday and Saturday of this weekend, I see a real value in this kind of service, especially at times of the year when the driving is more difficult, as it certainly was this week. So I'm in support of it as well.
Yeah, I think Friendship House has done a great job with the service. The city has been supporting them since, I think, 2016. when it was first launched. We didn't want to duplicate services, so we supported their service, which was also going to be a twice-a-week service anyways. So I think it's good for us to continue supporting them. And then on top of that, we partnered with the North Coast Transition Society and gave them a one-time grant for the 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week program, where if people are fleeing abuse or trying to leave the community in a moment's notice, they can actually call a number where they're able to get picked up and brought to the transition house immediately. So there's 2 levels of service now when it comes to that particular issue, one from the transition house and now this service. And if we can help them secure this funding, then I think that'll help with this transportation link between Rupert and Terrace. So I think this is great news for the community, and hopefully we get this grant secured. Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. Next up, report from corporate administrator. I'm assuming there's no other things to say, so recommendation that council will proceed with the 4th and final reading of the recreation fees and charges bylaw number 3482 2021. Moved by Councillor 80, seconded by Councillor Morrow. Any other discussion? All's in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. And then recommendation that council proceed with the 4th and final reading of the revitalization tax exemption bylaw number 3481 2021. Moved by Councillor 80, seconded by Councillor Ranhawa. Any other discussion? All's in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. And recommendation that council proceed with 4th and final readings of the revitalized. Showed up on the agenda again with the same wording. Council proceed with the 4th and final readings of the cemetery fees and charges amendment bylaw number 3483 2021. Moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor 80. Any other discussion? All's in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. Any final reports of 2021 from members of council before Christmas break? Councillor Cunningham.
I just want to say I'd like to thank the staff, not just the City Hall staff, but the field workers, the people from the yard, the people that do the day-to-day grunt work in the city in all weather and even through COVID and everything else. They were there daily in that. And I'd like to, from city staff and council, wish them all a very Merry Christmas and hope they enjoy it. They definitely deserve some time off, and especially the weather conditions they're working in right now, and that it's not exactly a nice thing to even walk in it, never mind have to work in it. So I really appreciate everything they've done.
Great words. Thank you very much, Councillor. Any other Councillor Ranhawa, then Councillor 80?
Yeah, as Councillor Cunningham said, I'd like to thank staff for their great job, especially our workers working in the snow time now, day and night, weekends, and they're doing great job, so people can move, do their job. So I'd like to thank everybody for the great work. Thanks.
Councillor 80.
Also, in the spirit of Christmas, I share the best wishes for staff, and both at the City Hall as well as out in the city itself. A couple of shout outs to organizations that are doing the voluntary types of things that help make people's world a little better. To start with the Positive Prince Rupert, people who I think have just successfully finished their Helping the Homeless Packages program, which provides a package of things for those people who would not otherwise be able to enjoy those things at this time of year, especially in weather conditions we're facing. I think that's a really invaluable service. So I very much appreciate the efforts of volunteers on that one. And also, having unfortunately lost one of our cats, a few months ago, I started paying attention to the online world of Prince Rupert Pets. And I discovered that there's a whole world of people out there that are actually doing a lot of really good work in terms of taking care of people's pets, people's lost pets, but also particularly the feral cats. And I know this is an initiative that's since I have the microphone, I'm going to explain to the public what just happened. One of our screens, well, it's something to do with Mr. Cunningham, but I couldn't tell you exactly what. Anyway, it fell over. So in particular, I'd like to give a shout out to the Paws United Rescue Society for the work that they have been doing. Just recently, they've completed an online auction, which I think, although I don't know the number yet, it hasn't been announced. I think the amount of money they raised is probably quite significant, and that money goes towards caring for those animals that are in need of it. And I noticed earlier there was a service provided where they were gathering feral cats up, and the issue, of course, is to get them spayed and neutered. And they were driving animals to Smithers, I think, to get that work done. And the reason I think it's important is because anybody who's had pets and learned a love for animals understands what an impact they can have on people's lives. So I think that congratulations should go out to them and appreciation for the work that they're doing as well. So with that, I'll offer a general happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Any other reports? Okay. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you back here in January. Happy holidays. And a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Randhouse, seconded by Councillor Moreau. All those in favor? Means adjourned. Good evening.